Again, the Avs taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs for the second time in about 10 days here. Welcome in to the DNVR Avalanche pregame show. We got Big E and Rudo coming to you live for this one as the Avs looking to score points in 10 games tonight. It's been good. Hard to argue with what the Avs have done so far. So I'm looking forward to tonight. I hope you're looking forward to tonight. Initial reactions before we really dig in. How you feeling about this one?
Boy, hard not to feel good. They give you everything to feel good about, right? Obviously, since post Four Nations, we didn't like that. Well, they played good that one game they lost. We hated that St. Louis game, and then since the deadline, I mean, they really addressed all the holes that they had. Really, in a sense that you feel so good about this team right now, and they're showing you that. They're playing good and they're delivering. Lost a point in mini. Again, no excuse. 3 and 4 in the morning. Gave you everything they had. Came up short. Lost in that skills competition. I feel good. I think they're going to be good. It's hard not to like them right now.
I would agree. There's not a whole lot to argue with at the moment when you are the Colorado Avalanche. So, look, they have a lot of things firing on all cylinders, and maybe most importantly, you just want to see that keep going. Keep doing the right things. Keep doing all of the stuff you've been doing, especially post-trade deadline. The way they've played is extremely encouraging. So hopefully they can keep that up. A couple of things I want to get into here. First, the heatometer, the hotometer. I don't know what we're calling it, but the Avs have been that good. I think they've basically broken the temperature gauge when it comes to Colorado. So, look, I'm trying to remember the last time the Avs had a 9-game point streaky. I don't know if I can. I don't think they had a 7-gamer earlier, 8-gamer maybe earlier this year, but I don't think they've made it to 9 before. Yeah, last season.
Last season. This year, no. And we always said that they do it every year. You know what I mean? So that's their streak right now. It couldn't happen at a better time. It's hot. It's on fire. It's where the stick is right there. It's where the blade is. It's really, really, really hot. Again, any good team will go in that stretch of a 10-gamer. One of those. Bednar talks about those stretches all the time, right? Their goal is always 7-3, 7-3. Now you're 8-0-1. You get one. It's basically a 10-gamer in my book. You know what I mean? So let's get that one tonight. Let's feel good about it. And then what you want to do is play well and feel good about all the facets of your game. And I think that's what's important. I think that's what they're worrying about. Again, streaking is always fun too. We all know once you go on a streak, not a streak, but a 10-gamer like this, you'll get away with it at times. Some games, you know what I mean? I don't think that's been the case. I don't think they've gotten away with games. I think they've been the better teams, and they've won those games. You know what I mean? Like looking quickly, I don't think any game would be like, oh yeah, they weren't the better team. They got away with that one. They played like crap, and their goalie was awesome. I do believe that it wasn't perfect, but I do believe that they won games that they were supposed to win, and hence that 8-0-1 stretch right now.
Yeah. The only one is the game that they lost where it felt like, maybe Minnesota locked them down pretty well, and they still found a way to get a point out of that one. So they're doing that. They're finding ways to win, or at least finding ways to get points out of games. And there you go. Look at my beautiful face there. When you're on fire, you got me sweating. All right. Maybe it should be me pouring water on my head with all the hat tricks the Avs be scoring. But either way, 8-1-1 in your last 10 is, you can't do much better. You're 3 points shy of perfect out of 30 at that point. So
Can
that's
we
pretty.
go back to the graphic? Can we go back to the graphic for a second? Sorry.
See my ugly face some more.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, the mustache is there, So, all right,
A
fair enough.
little shorter too, though.
Yeah, I mean it's a red mustache, because you're hot, you're steaming,
Oh boy.
and
Oh boy.
you know. But yeah, all right, the mustache is there. That's fine.
Um, I did want to move on to our next section because I do want to talk about the statistical look at the Avs post trade deadline. Obviously, small sample size. They played 5 games post deadline. Don't overthink this, but when you look at the numbers, I think there are a couple of interesting things. One, the Avs have been a significantly better possession team, not just with attempts, but with actual shots against. The Avs are limiting their shots against at an unbelievable rate. Um, it's it's impressive at how good it's been. And then you take a look at their actual expecteds; they're just a lot better in every aspect. Some of those numbers are wrong, but that's okay. Uh, when you look at the possession metrics, mostly that's where the Avs have been unbelievably good post trade deadline, which is a little bit surprising. We talked about them going out and getting these second line, third line centers to be goal scorers, to provide more goal scoring. And while they have scored at a higher rate, their defense has been arguably the best in the NHL.
Yeah, and again, I use my three-letter word, fit. You know what I mean? Ryan Lindgren has been a good fit. You know what I mean? And then you add him to that mix, and next thing you know, the Avs are playing better defensively. They're giving up less defensively. The goaltending's been good. Their PK's been good. I look no further than, hold on, if I can quote just like Adam Fox today this morning, right? He was talking about the loss of Ryan Lindgren. How when Ryan Lindgren got traded, he was actually injured. And he's just coming back in the lineup right now, and he feels lost without Ryan Lindgren because that's a guy he's been playing with for so many years. So,
Yeah.
so again, uh, he definitely miss having him around the room as well. And always remember one line Chris McFarland said about Ryan Lindgren. I'll bet on Ryan Lindgren character any day of the week. And that's exactly what the Avalanche did. And then obviously with the analytics and everything, and again, the word ploy, and they're putting him in the right place where they feel he can help this team, and it's just kind of helping everybody else. Obviously, you got one of the best pairs in the league in 7 and 8, right? It doesn't get much better than that. But again, Sam Malinsky's been good. EJ's been good. Obviously Josh has been hurt. We're looking at 3-4 weeks for him to get back. I think Coach said this morning on his show, radio show. So yeah, I mean, I think all hands on deck on the back end, and I think they knew what they were looking for. They were looking for a meat potato guy, and I think sometimes just like adding obviously the pillars down the middle in Nelson and Coyle, adding Lindgren kind of solidified a little bit the way they want to play and the way they want to defend. And the fit is exactly what those three words, those three players come to mind. The fit's been great for the two guys up front, obviously. And I'm not talking about Jack Drury and all that kind of stuff. I'm talking about the second and third line centers. And then obviously Ryan Lindgren, whatever you want to call him, fifth, fourth, whatever it is, sixth, whatever he is. He's been a solid fit in the Avs lineup, which helps their D in those numbers that we just saw.
Yeah, there you go. There's the correct numbers
There you
for it
go.
on the app, just to show they're giving up less than 23 shots a game post deadline. And I know small sample size, you take that with a grain of salt, but to be doing that and then also giving up less than 2 goals per 60 at 5-on-5, that's elite. That is elite caliber defense in the NHL. That's the type of stuff that you talk about. Defense wins championships. It looks something like that. It's really good on Lindgren, particularly, which I do think this is an interesting conversation. I see chat talking about him not having to play top line minutes, maybe being a little bit more sheltered. While that's probably true with the quality of competition he plays, with the Avs, his average TOI is 19 minutes and 16 seconds. In New York, it was 1956. So I guess it's down 40 seconds, but really, he's still playing the same amount he was in New York.
And I think that's what Fox was talking about. They were, sent a lot of a lot of times they were sent for offensive zone faceoffs, and where now it's a little different, right? And for all the reasons, I I always say, and again, I'm going to be so mean here. God, don't be mad at me. Please don't be mad, people. Chat, don't be mad. There's a saying in the locker room, we always, forwards, we make fun of the D's. And we always say, all right, boys, come on, shut half your brain off, go play D, right? You know what I mean? Because we make fun of the D's and pretending that, But in Ryan's case, a little bit, it's like, hey, we don't need you to score goals. We don't need you to back up Fox slash, Makar. Obviously, that would be their Fox, right? Their Makar.
Yeah.
We need you to defend. We need you to be the warrior that you are. We need you to be a PK guy. We need you to be in the way. And again, if you're blocking 38 shots a night, there's something you're doing wrong. You know what I mean? Because that means you're not getting the puck out. And we want to get pucks out there. We're a puck possession team. But do what you do best, and I do believe you'll be a great fit here. And I think that's exactly what he's been, because he's used in the right situations and he's used in the right is a position of strength. A position of strength. Look no further than Parker Kelly, right? He's not a centerman. He can play center like we saw, and he gave them very nice, few innings all year long, right? You know what I mean? But look how much he's thriving on the wing right now because that's his natural position. So I think when you put Lindgren in the right spot, and again, that's what the acquisition and that's what depth does. If you don't have depth, and again, knocking on wood for injuries, then you're pushing everybody up, and everybody's playing wrong. When I say wrong, is out of your league. It's like a squirt peewee tournament. You feel that you're awesome, and then you go play in, I don't know, somewhere in Canada, and it's a AAA team, and you're playing, we can play AAA, and then you don't touch the puck the whole weekend. It's not fun. You know what I mean? It's not fun for those kids, and it's the same thing. You want to make sure you're slotted right, and I think the Avalanche, with the additions of what they've done, everybody's been slotted the right way. You know what I mean? Which has been
calling
nice.
For the info. Someone's calling.
I know. I just pushed that out.
I do want. You
Somebody's
might want to
mad
grab
at
that.
me because I said shh. No, I said because it shut your brain off, half your brain off. See,
there you go. These are calling you. These are calling you
the
right
D's
now.
are calling right now. You got the whole league calling right now. My car's mad.
Well, you might want to grab your notes on your phony, because as much as I love talking about individuals, I want to take a broader perspective and what the Avs need to do. 3 keys for tonight to beat Toronto for the second time in 2 weeks.
Well, very simple. For me, perfect environment. I'm not going to say it's a ruckus environment because it's a very quiet building, to be honest with you guys. I mean, Rudo, have you been there? I don't remember if I've asked you before. You said you've not been to Toronto, correct?
We just walked away.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. I know he was trying to fix that there. It's a quiet building, but what I'm trying to say is still Toronto. It's still the Mecca. It's still all the Eastern, pundits and obviously media. So perfect road habits. It's a perfect place to go out there and follow the game plan. Smart puck management. You want to make sure that you're playing your game. You don't have to be sexy, but you also want to be effective. So it's very important because you got to remember the other team's got a pretty good freaking lineup as well when you're talking about a top 6. So very important that you have good road habits. Number 2, TOI, time on ice, spread out, right? Use it like a nice sandwich there, a little spread, right? Spread it out. It's the start of a 3 and 4. Again, I use Bednar's word. Keep deploying guys with smart assignments. Give guys cookies. Give guys, see how they react. Whether it's Charlie Coyle on a penalty killing, or whether it's Parker and Teddy Drury there, and I know his name's Jack. And then obviously LOC. And give them some big minutes. Give them some important minutes. So depth is here for sure. So keep using it. And then that's where it's going to pay off. It pays off in a 7-game series because you're spreading the ice time. And then not everyone's burnt out after a game. So use that kind of a mini series here this week as the start tonight of a 3 and 4, meaning 3 games in 4 nights. And then number 3, play Avalanche hockey, right? You want to dictate. You want to play hard between the whistles. You need star production as well. We all know that. I was just talking about their top 6. Well, Toronto Maple Leafs' top 6 is pretty good. There's a lot of pressure on the shoulders of the top 6 of the Toronto Maple Leafs. So Avs come to town. What do you think they want to do? They want to measure themselves up. They want to show they didn't like what they saw a week ago in Denver, where they basically had a very tough night. Marner was fine, but somewhere somehow as a team, the Avalanche didn't look back and obviously won that game and nothing bothered them that night. So the Leafs are going to want to have a little bit of a revenge game, and they won their last game. Before that, they lost some big games, to the Avalanche, to the Golden Knights, to the playoff-bound Ottawa Senators. So those were big games that they've lost, and they didn't like it. Obviously, they beat Calgary their last time. Matthews got a couple goals, so let's be wary of the firepower. Nylander is on fire right now. He's shooting the pill like there's nobody. Willie Stiles is playing really well. Marner, Nylander, Matthews, Tavares, a lot of power. Tanev is back as he wasn't there in Denver the other day, right when they played. So, the addition of Carlo has really solidified the right side. Again, last week, Tanev was injured. He's back. Makes a difference. Should be a good game tonight. Obviously, McKenzie's been sick. At some point, it's time to get back in the net and have a good performance. So I'm excited for tonight. I think everybody's excited. I think all the hype around this game is big, and everybody's looking forward to it.
I want to have a weird conversation about this time of year. Right now, points matter for sure. The Avs are 4 points back of Dallas. Dallas, unfortunately, won the other night in overtime against Anaheim, and they're 4 points ahead of Minnesota. So there's still plenty to play for. But depending on how the next week to 10 days go, those gaps could expand. And you could be sitting in a point in the season where the actual standing points might not matter that much. How do you approach that as an NHL team? Are you trying to get those points? Are you still trying to catch Dallas no matter what? Or do you hit a point in this season where you start saying, hey, we're not too worried about the actual standing points. It's just about playing quality hockey for us?
Yeah, and I think you put your head in the sand. You don't look over. What was that TV show back then? The guy used to look across the fence there. Tim the Toolman Taylor. There.
Yeah, I always call it Tool Time, which was the show in the
whatever.
show. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like how he looks across. He's looking at the neighbor. Put your head in the sand and just worry about your own backyard. I think the Avalanche is. You worry about what you do. But the flip side of that is if you do what you're supposed to do, you're good. You're going to win games, right? So the points are going to be there. And I think once you start analyzing, and I'm not insinuating that that's what you were saying. I'm saying, but once you start analyzing and let's try to lose this one, or who cares, or if we don't care about this one, then maybe we'll get this one. Then it always ends up biting you in the butt. You know what I mean? And I think you do what's right. You play what's right. If someone needs a rest because they're dealing with some sort of an injury, and I think the Nuggets have been doing this, for example. I think everybody's been mad, but at the end of the day, if you have to do it for the benefit and you feel good, you feel that you're securely in the playoffs, and you got to do it. You're doing it for a reason. You can still go win that game. Because the process will take you there. But I think teams are smart, not just the Avalanche. Sometimes you can't push guys if they're not feeling good, especially important key guys in the lineup. And I'm not saying that's what they're going to do. I'm saying if they feel good, awesome. But I don't think you can nitpick and try to dictate how it's going to go. I think you put your head down, you try to get as many points as possible. Cards fall where they fall, and you attack the dance the way, it was dictated for you. That's it.
I want to dig into Toronto a little bit more here, because their season's been a little bit weird. You mentioned, obviously, Nylander's been great, second most goals of anyone in the league this year, doing that part of it. But Matthews has been hurt at times. He's not quite scoring goals at the rate that we've come to expect from him. You've seen some of the other pieces of this lineup. Certainly the depth has been a little bit all over the place for Toronto. So is that an opportunity for the Avs to continue this quality depth play they've gotten over the last 4, 5, 6 games? Can you take advantage of Toronto there, or is it really you got to match their stars type of situation?
No, a little bit of both. I talked about top 6 versus top 6, and then I did happen to watch a little bit of their game the other night because of, they were going to play the Avs, and, it was kind of nice to watch a little bit. And then they feel the same thing. The Max Domies of the world that have not had good seasons, so to speak, all year long. All of a sudden, Robertson goes and takes 2 dumb penalties in that game. Next thing you know, Domi feeds him in the slot. He scores a big goal. They feel it. Those guys feel it too. They feel the pressure. They feel the Scott Lawton coming in now being a fourth line center, which I think they thought he would be a third line center. It hasn't kind of gone smooth yet for him. AJ called it. You called it. Anyway, not a big deal.
I
I'm
liked
not
him.
bagging
I
on
wanted
him.
him.
No,
So
so
I
I'm
didn't call
sorry.
anything.
It was AJ. I didn't remember AJ didn't like him. So AJ's laughing at us because you and I liked him. So I think there's still a lot of question marks there, and I think it's important for these teams, no different like the Avalanche, the Leafs, to figure out what they have. Now, what they do have is a little bit of a goaltender controversy, so to speak, right? Because both have played good. Wallace played in the playoffs a little bit, and Stolarz has never really played besides a half a game last year in the playoffs in a non-cheeseburger game. You know what I mean? That
Yep.
I think Bobrovsky got pulled. So, and again, Avalanche, same thing. McKenzie's never played in the playoffs, right? You know what I mean? So obviously Wedgie's played a little bit, but we all know that there is no question there. Blackwood's going to be the guy playing in the playoffs, but there's a question mark in Toronto on who's going to start that game number one. And then all those games are important for those guys to show that they want to be the guy. So those games down the stretch matter. This game tonight matters. They're at home, Toronto. They feel that, they want a revenge game. And I expect their A game tonight, but I expect the Avalanche's A game tonight too. So it should be a dandy.
This time of year, it's got to be the A game every night, basically, right? It's
yes,
no room for error, no room for excuses anymore. Certainly, the Avs seem to have locked in, obviously, with their record as of late. Look, I'm curious if will this continue? Is what I want to ask you. We saw a lot of, hey, let's throw Jack Drury out there against the top line, try and win some faceoffs.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll sneak Brock Nelson out with whoever to try and win some ozone faceoffs. Is this the new trick in the bag for Jared Bednar? Is this something we expect to get even more usage over these last handful of games?
Yeah, I think he told us. I think he told us right after the deadline. I think right after Brock Nelson's first game, I think he said it. Hey, listen, it's not time for experiments, but it's time to see what I have. You know what I mean? So I have no choice but to look and see. The Nelsons of the world. He's a great penalty killer. He's a great power play guy. I need to put him in there. I need to put him in those situations. And it's new. So right away, you're breaking something up, right? You know what I mean? You're breaking a power play up. You're breaking a PK unit up because there's a new guy coming. Charlie Coyle comes in. His specialty is what? Face-offs, and same thing, PK. And then you can use him on the second power play as well. So all of a sudden, you're like, oh, okay. Well, there's a 5-on-3, and he was awesome on that 5-on-3, right? 2 games into his tenure with the Avalanche, and same thing. LOC, well, yeah, don't be discouraged because usually you're the guy that's out there, right? It's more like, all right, well, who else do we have out there? What if you're in the penalty box? And then, what else do we need? So I think they're doing a little bit of experiments. They're doing, so he said he was going to do. So I think he came out, black and white said it. He was going to try things. And I like that he tried not just one power play, but he tried it for 3 games. And then he was like, I don't like it. Then went back to Druin, and Natushkin, and then, nothing Brock didn't do. Sometimes it just doesn't connect or whatever it is, right? So I think it's important to see what you have. I think he was straightforward with it. I think he has been straightforward with Jimmy Vesey, for example. Hey, it's got to be tough right here to get in the lineup. We'll see once you get in there, do your job. We'll figure it out. And I think honesty and, knowing where players stand is exactly what he's trying to do here. And I think you're going to need everyone. It's a long playoff run because that's the goal. You don't want to be in the playoffs for 7 days, right? You want to be in there for a few months. So I think it's very important that they see and they keep seeing, what they have.
All right, we got a $10 super chat from Iris saying, no shaving allowed for 2 Avs. Yes, if you don't know, the beard does not get shaved until the Avs lose, and then it all comes off when the Avs lose. So we got the beard for now. And he's getting us into our crystal ball segment here. Give me a score, give me a name. Who you got tonight for the Avs?
Now I'm gonna go. I'm going 4-3 Avs. So maybe I don't know what the under is, but it should be right around there, right? Over under. But I'm gonna go 4-3 Avs. Yeah. Over under whatever. 4-3 Avs, and I'm gonna go Charlie Coyle. Coyle with the first star.
Yep, I like it. I like those choices. I went high scoring last time and it worked. I'll go low scoring this time. I'll go a little 3-1. I think the Avs are due to convert on some of this elite defense they've been playing. It seems like teams have found a way to get maybe an extra goal more than they should against the Avs as of late, even with the great defense. So I think they're going to lock this one down. I'm going to go 3-1. I'm going to take, I got the shirt on. I'll take it. LOC, baby. Get a little Loch Ness Monster action. All right. Get the depth going.
Well, I got my McKinnon right there and Kale right there, but
that's not quite a Charlie Coyle. We don't have the Coyle shirt yet. All right,
got some work to do on that. I went blue, just like straight blue.
Lots of high scoring in the chat, which is understandable. The Leafs and Avs usually do play pretty high scoring games, so hard to argue with some of those scores you guys are showing up in there. Let's get to my pregame picks, brought to you by Bet365, where things are never ordinary. A bunch of options here. I did take the Avs to cover, so you got to have them win by 2. Plus 190, pretty good money there. The Makar power play point continues to be maybe the best bet on the website at plus 170. Even when the Avs don't score on the power play that often, you make your money back with the plus money. It's just a good bet. And then I want Blackwood to look good tonight. Did not look great in his last start. Maybe he was a little under the weather for it and all of that. Fair enough. But 23.5 saves is not a huge ask for against a team like Toronto. You should expect Blackwood to be able to get to that number if you're looking for maybe a little bit of a safer bet. Take your options, whatever it is with Bet365. Tons of other bets to go on too. Who knows? Maybe you can get a plus 10,000 hat trick bet. Sometimes those do hit as well. Whenever you do gamble, make sure you do it with Bet365 and the DNVR 365 code. Of course, when you do, you must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. Couple minutes left here in pregame, just for chat's info. Game is national. It's on TNT or HBO Max tonight, and those are your options. Got the updated injury report here with, as E mentioned, Manson expected to miss 3 weeks or so. Pretty much, maybe he sneaks in for a game or two at the end of the year, but probably not going to do a whole lot of playing before the playoffs. Landeskog is traveling with the team. Take from that what you will. We talked about it yesterday. We probably have another video coming out on it either tomorrow or this weekend. So keep your eyes out for that for a bigger conversation with Landeskog. But again, the Avs are reasonably healthy right now. If they can stay that way, it's a good time to be healthy. I'll put it to you that way. You're not struggling with it like Dallas might be. So
I like it. I knocked on wood, and I like that Big Daddy. That's Jimmy VZ. I like that Landy is there. I think it's important. Post-trade deadline, you're only talking about a few weeks. I think it's important to have the group together. I think it's important to have guys. I believe Josh is on the trip as well. I mean, maybe I'm talking nonsense, but I believe he's on. I think it's important to have everyone there. That's how we used to do it back then. I don't care if you're injured, you're not in the way. Everybody all together, right? Everybody ropes, everybody rides. You know what I mean? It's very important to feel that you're a part of it. And there's a little bit that you can do. Sometimes, like I said, it's on the bus after a game. It's on the plane ride. It's at the hotel. It's at the team meal. So I think it's important to stick together. I think it's important that you go into that wave, and it's just a 1 week road trip. It's not the end of the world. And everybody's therapy's done there by the main guys, and you're not staying back with to keep one of the therapists back home like Donovan or something like that. Everybody's on the road. Everybody's going. Everybody's sticking together. I think it's very important.
Yep, I would agree. It's that time of year for sure. Is there anything to really test yourselves on this one? Because if you look at it, a team standing, you're not playing the Leafs again this year unless the Leafs somehow make the Cup Finals and you make the Cup Finals. So there's not a whole lot there. But is playing guys like Matthews, is playing guys like Nylander, do you get up for that still, E? Or is this... I'm not saying the Avs are overlooking the game, but maybe this isn't the hypest one that they've played of late.
No, but it's a very high-powered, a lot of firepower. So let's say you're talking about Dallas. People talk about the offense and the power, especially with Mikko now, Dallas. So, the likely opponent in the first round, very important. How do we go about those 1-2 punch, those lines like that? Very important to see how you measure up. Very important for Mac tonight in Makar. Why? Because it is the Mecca in the East, right? It's like New York or Toronto, right? Again, nobody plays for individual honors, but you want to show to the rest of the world. You want to show to the Eastern Conference what you're made of. And you play once a year against Toronto. A lot of lot of guys are from there, Toronto or Montreal. Like, so when you do go there, I think it's fun that you're playing in front of friends and family, and you know what I mean. And you just, again, it's just special. It's an original 6 building. It's a quiet building. I'm not gonna lie, but that's when you stepped away. I don't remember. I don't think you've been there, right? I asked you that question before. You've never been to that one, right?
Never.
No, yeah. I mean, it's a nice building. It's a little quiet.
Sure.
You know, and even the home players complain about it, right? So. But, you know, I think it's important for those guys to measure themselves in a sense that pretend that it's Dallas, right? 2 good lines, 2 decent, you know, 3rd and 4th lines, and see how you measure against that type of offense and go from there.
Eric measuring up a little bit small all of a sudden there.
I saw that.
It is the first half of a Sega Baba, so it is important for the Avs to get off on that right foot. When you win the first half, it makes that second half a little bit of a free roll. Hopefully the Avs can do that. We are wrapping up our pregame show, though. It is a national game, so puck drop may be a little bit later than you'd expect. Plus, you have the double anthems. Lots of stuff going on. We are going to go get ready for our watch-along, though, so make sure you tune into that, or at very least tune in to the postgame show no matter what. We'll break it all down for you. We appreciate y'all, and we will talk to you in a few minutes. This has been the DNVR Avalanche pregame show.
We all silly like the mayor.